Hi guys, so I'm doing something a little bit different today. Like, the YouTube channel name is Misha's Manic Musings, so it's been a little bit all of the same at the moment, so I thought I would do something more about one of my other loves in life. Apart from makeup, apart from books, which will soon be on the channel I'm sure, my other love is films, as you can gather from what we're looking at here. Oh, Laurel and Hardy down the bottom there. There's quite a few, and they don't all fit in the shot. So on the top left there, that's all my Disney animations. So we've got Blu-rays, steelbooks, and one DVD. Then the next couple of rows down here is Blu-rays. So that's, I don't have a big collection, I've only been collecting them for maybe a couple of years now, something like that. So I don't have a big collection. And then along the very bottom row that you can just see is TV shows. That's also TV shows in there as well that I need to watch. And then there's my DVDs, which I'm gradually cutting down on. The ones that I can find on Blu-ray, unless the extras are different, I just get rid of the DVDs. But apart from that, that's them all. So that's just a quick overview. Let's get into the actual video. I'm not going to go into too much detail about these. I mean, some of them I have and haven't watched. So this is Nerve, as you can see. I saw this on Lovefilm, and I wasn't expecting much from it. I'm not that big a fan of Dave Franco or Emma Roberts. Don't call her Emma Watson, whatever you do. But I was kind of thinking, it sounds like just another teenage movie. And at this point, I'm not sure if I knew it was based on a book or I'd bought the book but hadn't read it yet. And I actually ended up really enjoying this. I thought that it wasn't going to be that good, but it kept me watching, it kept me intrigued. And I went and I read the book like straight after watching the film or thereabouts. The book was better, but at the same time the film was also good. Like, I think the film took the best aspects of the book and then changed some different bits about it. So I thought that was quite interesting, and I did end up really enjoying it. I know there's a sequel, I know there's another book after Nerve, and I haven't read that one yet, and my DVDs just fell down. Haven't seen this yet. I would recommend it. I would recommend reading the book first, possibly, just because I would have liked to have read the book previous to seeing the film. I don't know what it is, I really love these films. Like, all these kind of like multiple characters with like intertwined storylines and everything. I really enjoyed this. I mean, there's some well, it's heavily cliched. And John Bon Jovi, for some reason his face isn't picking up. But I thought it was really good, and it really gets me in the mood for New Year's Eve as well. It's one of those films that I think I would re-watch every New Year's Eve. I think I have Valentine's Day as well, and I know there's another one for Mother's Day. I saw on Lovefilm, I haven't got on Blu-ray yet. And I'm sure there's another one that I'm forgetting about as well. As everyone probably already knows by this point, I do love the Titanic. I have to admit, I've never actually sat and watched this film. And as you can see, it is still sealed. At one point I am planning to get around to it, because obviously it is the first Titanic disaster movie. I got this from Zavi actually, I seem to remember it being in a good deal. There's a good amount of extras on it, but it's also black and white, which I don't know why it sometimes puts me off films, and I've never understood why. I don't know if it's because I like seeing the colours, all the bright pretty colours and everything. At some point I will get round to watching it. There is still a couple of the old like kind of Titanic movies on my wish list. There's still one from 1953 I want to say. If you've seen this, please do let me know. It is 118 minutes and you've got 62 minutes of extras as well, so it does sound quite encouraging. Probably the majority of us women have seen this film, and probably quite a few men have been forced to watch this film. I liked it, and I read the book first because I was a big Nicholas Sparks fan at that point. I still am, but I don't read his books with the intensity that I used to. I don't agree with it being the most romantic movie since Titanic. I have a problem with Ryan Gosling, and I'm not 100% sure why, but I just didn't like his character. In the book or in the film actually, and I didn't like his portrayal, and I'm not sure why. I cannot put my finger on it. It's not a film I've seen in quite a few years. I think it's one of those films that you would quickly get sick of. I remember being sad at the ending, and I remember liking Rachel McAdams, but there's just something that annoys me about this film, and I think ultimately I prefer the book. This film was so good that I bought 2 copies on Blu-ray, and I didn't realise until I got home and tried to put in the second copy. This film does have its faults, admittedly. It's not a film you can rewatch too often. I think I actually sickened myself of it when it first came out because I was watching it that much. And bearing in mind, I'm not the biggest fan of Hugh Grant. I do like Julia Roberts, and I do like her portrayal in it, and I do like her character, and I do like a lot of things about this film. Do you know what I really wish? I feel like I keep saying this during these videos. I wish this was a book. There, I've said it. I wish this was a book or a novelisation, something along those points. There's so many films out there, and obviously quite a few that I own since I keep repeating myself. I wish there was more novelisations out there, or I wish there was more kind of books made after films, not quite novelisations but based on the film. I'm sure there's a book about Mean Girls coming out. I'm sure it's out either this month or next month, bearing in mind I'm actually filming this bit in September right now because I haven't had a chance to film. There is a book about Mean Girls, and I like that. I think it's going to be a really good book. I'm sure I've got it on pre-order. I really enjoyed this film. I didn't think I was going to. I really liked Isla Fisher in it. I actually did like Jesse Eisenberg, and I did like Woody Harrelson as well. I thought they were all brilliant, and I thought they all worked well together. Again, we have Dave Franco, who I'm not that keen on, but it was a really good film, and I enjoyed all the effects and everything like that. I thought it was really good. It is a shame that Isla Fisher didn't come back for the second one, because I did like her character. She was brilliant. We do get Janice Ian in the second one. I'm sorry, she's always going to be known as Janice Ian to me, but Lizzie Kaplan, she is basically replacing Isla Fisher in the second film. And you also have a very odd appearance by Daniel Radcliffe as well. The majority of the characters return from the first film, apart from Lizzie Kaplan obviously, but I liked her in it. She's kind of quirky, she's different, she's not trying to do Isla Fisher's role all over again. I have this, and I think I also have London Has Fallen. I have a feeling I have London Has Fallen on steelbook, if I remember correctly, and I actually like these films. I thought they were really good actually, and it kept you heart in your mouth, action and everything like that. It's not particularly memorable. I think it's good for watching, and I think if you go back and rewatch it, I don't think you'll remember quite as much of what happened, or maybe that's just me, I'm not sure. But I did enjoy it. I did enjoy all the special effects, and it certainly did keep me watching. I wasn't bored during it at any point. I love this film. If you have not seen it yet, I would highly recommend reading the book first, because the book is excellent, and then I would watch the film. I don't think the film quite encompasses for me what I wanted from it. There's obviously scenes from Edinburgh in there. Jim Sturgis wasn't really who I had in my head. Anne Hathaway kind of fits. I mean, Jim Sturgis as Dexter, yes, he did good at the role, but it's just obviously the problem is when you read the book first, when you love the book first, and then you watch the film, it's not who you have in your head. The only person who I had in my head that matched what I saw in the, well, in this case the TV show, was Jamie in Outlander. He matches what I had in my head reading the book quite a few years ago now. He matches perfectly, and that's the only time I've seen that. And the disappointing thing with that was Claire didn't match my image of Claire in the book. Romances that kind of go wrong aren't your stereotypical boy meets girl, boy gets girl, boy and girl live happily ever after. I'd highly recommend watching this film, and there's some nice scenes around Edinburgh as well. But read the book first. I was wondering why I was singing Elvis Presley's One for the Money, Two for the Show song there, and then I realised that this was coming up. I loved the books by Janet Vanovich, obviously, as it says there. She does a whole series with Stephanie Plum. As far as I'm aware, I think we are up to number 24 at the moment, so it's a huge series. I think for me this would have worked better as a TV series. I don't think it works well as a film because we're not going to see 24 films now, are we? Also didn't like Catherine as Stephanie's character in this. She is not who I pictured. She does the role really well. I was quite impressed with that, but the whole image of her from what Stephanie is in the book, there's quite a few funny moments with Stephanie where she's always like eating and then unbuttoning the top of her jeans, for example, or the extremely frizzy hair, which Catherine does not have. This would have worked better, definitely, as a TV show. I would have liked to have seen this, what the hell is this, as a TV show rather than as a film. I have met Janet Vanovich. She's one of the few authors that I have met, and she's really friendly. It's been quite a few years now. I think it was possibly in the assembly rooms in Edinburgh, and it was right kind of, she didn't have as many books out at that point. I would definitely recommend picking up the books if you can get them for fairly cheap, bearing in mind you have 24 to get. The first 4 or 5 are definitely the best books in the series, and I would highly recommend reading those. If they grab you from the get-go, then read the rest. The book and this film started off my love of anything Tudor. Also started me on to authors like Alison Weir as well. The whole world kind of fell in love with Philippa Gregory after this book, which I read first. I've obviously seen the Tudors TV series as well, with Jonathan Rhys-Meyers. I think for me, Eric Bana did a good job of Henry VIII. I also think Jonathan Rhys-Meyers did a good version as well. So I really couldn't tell you which version I preferred. I thought Natalie Portman and Scarlett Johansson did excellent portrayals, and the hair was just gorgeous of Mary and Anne, obviously. It's a very sad film, and obviously if you know the story of Anne Boleyn, you know why it's a very sad film. It's also a very sad book as well, and I think ultimately for me, again, the book is better. There's also a BBC version of this. Obviously the budget was on this one. There was not as much budget on here, but obviously you have Natasha, you know who I mean, I'm not sure how to pronounce the last name. She does a good portrayal. Ultimately, I think I prefer the movie rather than the BBC version. It's well worth seeing both of them because they are well worth watching if you're interested in the Tudors and interested in Anne and Mary Boleyn. This film is so funny. I wasn't sure if I was going to like it. I saw Private Benjamin as well with Goldie Hawn. I've also seen the Jessica Simpson remake, and it was funny in its own Jessica Simpson way, but ultimately this is really good. I do have some issues with it. I don't find it that particularly memorable. I think you watch it and then you forget about it really. I would highly recommend seeing it if you haven't already, because Goldie Hawn is so funny. I didn't think she was going to be quite so funny in this, and of course you have Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell. They're still a couple, what, 30 odd years later, and that's quite cute as well.